from the noise because it's in the afternoon, so you're gonna hear a bit of noise in the background, the kids playing and so forth. But here we are. I'm just going to walk you through real quick because I don't want to waste much of the time. What you see over here, the white line that's going around the frame is highlight thickness. So I put it at number 2. So that's what you see in there. And I put a 0 over here, I think, on the text area. All of these that you see is the text area. And then this is just a text label, which then shows the typing speed. There will be another label right here, which is not visible. It comes up when you start typing, and this is the timer. I just added it for fun. I couldn't get it to run because it needs a separate thread to start working on the timer, right? But I saw somebody do it in the group, so I was trying to incorporate that idea as well. But unfortunately, I'm not really clever enough to get it to run, so I'm going to put a to-do list in my code. In fact, I've done that already. I'm going to show you the code, and if you come down on my code, you go where it says to-do list. I'm going to upload the code as well very soon. Probably put up the link. You see, I need after every 2 seconds to check if the typing stopped, and then press backspace twice. This is actually a separate assignment. I saw it is on day 89. I don't know why I was thinking it's on the same day. So anyway, but I still need that functionality. And then I also need to add the timer functionality, which is more like a countdown, where when you start typing, you see it goes 59 all the way down, right? And then this is just an image. Okay, cool. Now that we've done everything about the GUI, one thing that I want to mention is that when we start typing, you're going to see random words come here, and you're also going to see your typing speed come up here, right? Don't worry about the words, don't worry about the typing speed. I want to tell you why. But before I tell you, I want to let you know that everything that's staring at you right now is actually not just sleeping, it's rather waiting, okay? I'm going to come on the run tab so that you can see. Right here is where the output is going to come. This program is alive, as you speak, but it's waiting for you to start typing. Okay, for example, if I type the word look, right, you see your speed starts showing and a word is showing up right there. Alright, and if you come over here, you see there's a, oops, I have an error. I don't know what error is that coming from. How embarrassing are you want to demonstrate your code and then you start with an error. Sentence is not defined. Let's come back over here. It's in the main class. Okay, so the same sentence is not defined. Sentence should be this one up here. Hold on a second. I have it up here. Okay, I commented it out. I commented it out. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna uncomment it. Okay, I'm gonna uncomment it, and then I'm gonna. Should I rerun? I know you guys want me to rerun, so I'm gonna click rerun, right? So that we proceed without any errors, alright? I don't know why I commented it out, alright? But it might take time to reboot because I'm running another program behind the scenes which is draining much of the CPU. Probably that's what might take place. But here we go. I'm gonna hit run. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you something. As you look at the data folder, there's a text file which is English word list, and these words are from the dictionary, right? All 80,400 something words from the dictionary are all in this list. So that's where, you know, when you run the program and you type a word that's not in the dictionary, it takes it out. And when you're also running the program, when you start typing, you see words coming out and showing everywhere. Those words are being taken from that word list, right? That's just to make it look a little bit nicer, okay? And as I mentioned, that keyboard is that one of these keyboards right here that I put in there. And so, anyway, with 2 files, generally that are running the game logic. So let's look at the code. What we have here. We have TK inter for the GUI. We have the main file, which is sort of the engine that controls the GUI. We import it over here. We have the plof package for image and image TK, just to open up those images that I have, and the date, the time, just to compare the time so that it runs for a minute, right? And then we have the random, just to make it fun, right? So as you notice, how am I using the random item? I'm using the random item for 2 parts, right? Okay, part number 1, I think that's the program running, that's coming back right now. Part number 1, we have this part, which is just come down. We put the text window, so that text area is a text item. It's not an entry item, it's a text item, and I can specify the width and the height and the color that I want, and as well as the font, and I can place it where I want. And then I also have a timer label, which is right at the corner, x is equal to 20, and I have the word label, which is in the middle, 150, and I have the speed label, which is then on 400, right, on the x-axis, but all are on the same line, so y remains 290, 290, 290. And then these ones change their color. They pick they could be red, green, white, or yellow. But the text, the speed label won't change. It always stays the same, right? So the starting text is typing speed, and the background is black. And that's what you see when you open it. It's up and running right now, so you see it's green and the background is black. All right, there we go. I think we waited for so long, so it kind of completed, and I didn't type anything. So we're gonna, come back and see if we can rerun it again. All right, awesome. So as it runs, I'm just going to continue explaining the code. Here we have the keyboard. We open it using the image as I mentioned, and then we packaging it using the image TK. So we open it, we resize it to fit the screen like we want it, and then we parts of the photo image, right? It's a GIF, by the way. PNG is over here. Sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't. As you see, this line I commented out, which was saying no such file directory. Even
it's
though,
16 hours.
Even though it was still in the same folder, right? Which was really funny to come and think of it like that. Okay, but there we go, and then we place it right there. And so this is where the magic happens, right? There is a listener, like everything that's happening right now is being listened to by this method or this function, right? Which is listening right now. So the moment you start typing, it starts listening to you right soon after, right? So we're still waiting for it to come through. Okay, we've clicked on it already. So let's continue with the explanation as we wait for it to run. Okay, so here we go. Runs, we're setting it to 0, and we're setting that right at the top of the file. So 0 means we are just starting. 1, it means we have already started the session. And 2, we're saying, hey, it's game up, right? So here you see there's the first thing that it asks you is runs not equal to 2, which is most likely because we have already manually set it to 0. So it comes and tests true over here, right? And then what we do, we start the timer and we load those words. And then everything that happens, every time you press a key, this key handler will come and run. And then because the runs is still equal to 0, if there is a space, that's when you start getting the entry and logging it in. Else, if it's not space, every other key that you're going to press, right, you're going to see random speed show up, you're going to see random word show up. That's pretty much what's happening right there. And then we set the runs to 1. Okay, so just the first time when it runs is equal to 1. So it no longer loads the timer anymore. It no longer loads the words anymore because they are loaded already on the first time it ran, okay? And then after the timing is done, okay, that's what we do here. If the time is greater than or equal to the end time, then we measure the final speed, right? And then we delete the entry and they say, the test is complete. And then we configure the speed label and say, this is your final speed. And runs is equal to 2. That means you can't run this line again, all right? Otherwise, if it's over, as we say, the runs is now equal to 2, then we sleep and then we reset the runs. And then the entry we set it to configure. Right? We're also saying that text area is disabled, and now it's back to normal, and then it's cleared, right? Whatever we wrote. So that's pretty much everything, and this is the binding function where that method is not being called by anything, but it's just being rendered right over here. So let's jump on to the GUI now that we've explained everything, and do a little bit of that. We're gonna say look. We type in look. Okay, last time we had an error, right? So let's go back and see if that we have a text entry, right? So here you go. Our words have been loaded. So we have functionality coming to. How were they loaded? Remember when you said when you run is equal to 0, the first thing that it does is it starts the timer and also load the words, right? So here we go. This is load the words function. We're gonna go back to it very soon, but I wanna go back right here and see if our ouch. I don't know why it's freezing on us. The moment we come back and then it says, the test is complete. All right. Let's run it one last time. Okay. The freezing is actually because I'm installing something very heavy in the background. If you want to see, I can show you, but I don't think you need to see that. Okay, let me just check out my power because I also have another issue with my battery right now. Anyway, let's continue explaining the code, right? Remember, I said the first thing that's called is start the timer, right? When runs is equal to 0. So that's what we're looking for. That's where we're going right over here. We set the time and the end time. So starting time is just now, and end time is after a minute. So minutes is equal to 1. You use time delta to add to a date time object. That's how you add a minute. If you want to add hours, you do the same, but using time delta, right? So as you notice, these are global variables because we want to make them an effect, and then we want to call them from the other side. So we say end time less the time, the current time, and then we can get it from here, right? So that's why we're instantiating them twice, because we want to get them right after the user starts typing. We want to get the time, and then the load in the words is just like reading this text file over here, this one here, and then we use the normal opening file, and then we load it up as a list of words, right? You see over here, we split by new line, and then we make them all lowercase, because if you notice, these words, some of them are actually lowercase, all of them. Somehow, some of them were kept all there, especially those ones that are, start to the words or maybe abbreviations and stuff. So I just, you can miss a word by that. So I just made them. I used, list comprehension for every word in this. That this is actually a list in itself, right? Make this list as well of making them low, and then it just prints out. We've loaded all the words from the 0 to the last one, and then it returns them right over here, right? Awesome. So let's go back, and we're gonna just start typing right away. If I do look again, you see the speed start coming, right? And if you type jubilee jubilee ja, jubilee jubilee ja, jubilee 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 j, okay, it doesn't allow you to do that, right? Yeah, it only wants you to type words that are in the word list, right? That's how we program it. How we programmed it. Okay, so in the end, it just takes the words that you have. I'm gonna show you what it does in the background, right? Right over here at the bottom, you should be seeing the input, right? When you type look, it splits up into a list, right? It says, is look a good word? It says, yeah, look is good. Got the word? Good. Okay, I save it. I saw you type JEF. What? Is that a good word? No, it's a bad word, so I delete it. All right. So you want to see the delete function? That's what you want to see right now. Okay. So here it is, the delete function, right? Here it is. It's just simply from the start to the end. Okay. And how do we determine that this is where you start from? We simply split out the word right over here. We say check the word, okay, from the string, and you strip it. We get the space off, and then just jump this part for now, because it's meant for when the game is over, right? This is for punctuation. If there are any punctuation, you just replace the mark so that you just left with the word. Okay, you get the idea there. And then we look through the word in the word list. If it's not there, then we delete, right? So we can delete, even including the space, like if you're in the middle, like over here, if you delete from the word index, it will delete from J and then leave out this space, and then you're going to have double space between your words, which looks very ugly. So in that case, you need to take the index and less it by 1. That means you're starting with the word open space all the way to the length of the word, right? So we're saying this current index plus the length of the word. So we're saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 8. So take that and delete all of it. All right. So that's what we're doing. If the word is the first word, that means there won't be anything before that word. So if you say -0, -1 right here, when your index is 0, then you are saying you are deleting from -1, right, all the way to the length of the word, which doesn't really make sense. You're going to get an index error. So if that happens, we just try and come back and delete without lessening the index, right? So that's pretty much the delete function. And then in the end, when everything is done, we just call up the sentence. You remember this sentence is being updated every time you type. So we just take all the words in there and we divide by 5, because that's the formula I found. They say the words or the characters in a sentence divided by 5, that's your speed per minute. The minute is being timed already by our starting time and everything, right? So we do that every time the keyboard is punched. There will be something listening to that. Okay, awesome. And then it changes the text entry to test complete and shows you the final result, which is right here, what we're seeing here. And we simply typed a few words because it logged us out. It wasn't fair because of the lagging behind, but I think you get the point. Now when it comes back and says text is complete, that also is taken by our keyboard listener, and it says here, okay, if the last word of the text area is complete, then return. That means we're not going to go through all this process of checking whether it's fast or not, right? So here it is, my backspace method, which I was trying to run. I couldn't get it to run because backspace is actually the key on the keyboard. So it doesn't matter where you are opening. So if it runs, it will just start deleting. I remember last time it ran, it was deleting my code because it just presses the key and releases it. So that's not exactly the functionality we need. We need the functionality to be inside the text area. so I couldn't get that to run. It was taking me so much time, but I put it that on my to-do list, right? Like let's get to do it. If you can, like when the user stop typing, then let's start backspacing, right? So that they don't just sleep on the keyboard, something like that. And then this was supposed to be the timer, but I couldn't get it to run. When I ran it, then it would take all the resources. Then it starts running all by itself until it finishes the countdown, and that would be more like a recursion error. Like if you have used Java, I think you know the recursion error. And there's another one which I was trying to do, like check activity, where I say I take the sentence and then I sleep for some seconds and I check it again. If it's still the same, then start deleting. I was trying to, kind of code my own backspace that way, but still, again, every time it ran, it starts running all the way until the resources are used up. So yeah, that's where the error was. But apart from that, everything else I think kind of looks fine. And I hope you kind of saw something that's interesting. If you want to incorporate it, if you want to help, come back with some feedback and so I can improve the code together, I'm more than welcome. I'm always advocating for collabs, code collabos. I think that those are very great to kind of share ideas and work through a project faster. Unless you work on something that you really, really deem like it's really super personal, but I feel like, there's no harm in doing code collabos, right? So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I'm going to run the program one last time, and as usual,